Alright, I'm doing this part out of character. The demo for Rocket Man X has been released and is uploaded to Steam. I would love for you to check it out. You don't have to buy the full game if you don't want to. I just would love for you to see the original Rocket Man X, see if that's something you'd be interested in. You know, I would love to make more Rocket Man X games after this point. So if you like Rocket Man X, please give it a try. So if you like what you see, please give it a try. Uh, I'm putting this at the front of the video because I get the feeling some people are going to watch this video thinking, oh, yeah, I'm going to watch this devlog, and then watch halfway through and be like, yeah, never mind. So I want to get this part out of the way first. Alright, class. So I know what you're thinking, but yes, a trailer does count for a monthly devlog reel. So, I'm thinking we're going to skip the month of January and we're just going to go straight on to February. So the first thing that I did was that when you collect a power pyramid, there's like a screen that shows up that tells you what the... Yes? You don't know what the power pyramids are. Okay, fine. I guess we can go back to the start of January. But don't think that I'm going to be telling you in order, okay? I am giving it to you in the order that I want to give it to you.
The first thing I did was add a subtitle system. Basically, I set up a new variable type called subtitle, which was a collection of smaller variables and contains a video, a list of subtitles, and a specific amount of seconds that each subtitle should play. These all have to be manually entered, which does suck, but it's not the end of the world. Later on, I added a new variable for this as well, for language. Currently, there's no option to change language, which is mainly because I don't have any other language translated yet. I'll probably hire my cousins to translate it to Spanish, but I'm currently learning Japanese to translate it myself so that I won't need Google Translate or AI.
Kawaii-ka. Naze ni.
Then I made a data table to hold each subtitle in the game. After that, I made a widget that shows the subtitles to the screen. It searches the data table for any entry that has the same video that is currently playing and the same language as the one that's currently set. It then shows each subtitle for its amount of seconds and then plays the next one. Once it's done, it will clear itself. Full discretion, this is the final system, not the original one. Speaking of original systems, I got tired looking at enemies T-posing towards me, so I gave them all animations. Or at least the ones that need them. RC cars and stuff are fine just staying still. I also wanted to signal to players what levels have been beat. Originally I had them dark, but if they were too dark then it would be hard to see what levels you're clicking on when you want to revisit them. Apparently Unreal Engine does not have a native way to grayscale an image, and I didn't want to get the whole material, so instead I just made grayscale versions of all the characters on the level select screen. I also changed it from a horizontal system, boxing in a random wood texture that I had, to now a vertical system surrounding one of those Etch-a-Sketch things, which is something that I've been planning for this game for about 9 to 10 months.
For those of you who don't know, the game has been in development for about 11 months, and this change was implemented about a month or two ago. This concept is older than that of the armor's abilities.
The Etch-a-Sketch just plays videos on it. Theoretically, you could mod it to play anything. I also added icons for the shop and for the final demo exclusive level.
Now, camera work is very important. So please tell me why Unreal Engine decided to screw that up.
See, in most third-person platformers, if a camera gets far away from the player, it will chase after them. This will be smooth enough not to give you motion sickness. If the camera gets too far away, it'll start to speed up. The camera will stay focused on you, but when you don't move outside that range, it won't move. It'll just stay static. Sometimes they'll even put checks in place to make sure that the camera can always see you by rotating when you're off screen until it can see you again. Most shooters will place the camera behind the player and move the player with the camera. There might be some exceptions, but mostly the camera is behind you, not in some static position while you move independently of it. Even in the rare cases, it always makes it feel like the camera is behind you. With Unreal Engine's default camera system, the camera stays behind the player at a specific point relative to the character. Only moving the mouse will change its relative position. It doesn't chase down the player, it's just stuck to them like Craftworks attacked them. But the player isn't always facing the same direction, so I had to make some changes. I added 2 different modes for dashing a while ago. I decided to repurpose these 2 different camera types. Shooter mode uses the default camera, but mainly sets Rocket's rotation to always be facing the direction of the camera. This is the easiest mode for me, and the easiest to program. I did have to make some animations specifically for it, though. Platformer mode is weird. So I set off the new camera up, and the camera will chase down the player, but there's something that's about it that's just off. It's probably the tiny movements it makes. Honestly, I only edited it out of courtesy since someone wanted to dash away from the enemy, but man, this thing is hard to get right. If you want to make a 3D platformer, do not use Unreal Engine. I actually just patched the demo to fix how the camera wants to simultaneously be too fast and too slow. As a result of wanting to do this, I replayed Jak and Daxter and Jak 2 to study it, and this made me really want to give Rocket a melee attack. So now dashing deals 2 damage. I might change it to just 1 damage in the final release, who knows. I'll test it out to see what I think. I also wanted enemies to now flinch like they do when Jak punches them, but instead of adding a new animation, I just send them flying backwards. but only for specific weapons that don't chain into themselves. Like the stand, it relies on touching the enemy, so those enemies won't go flying, but ice cubes don't need to do that, so flying the enemies go.
Yes, you with your hand up.
Earlier you mentioned a demo exclusive level.
This level can be divided into 5 major sections. A beach at the bottom, a hillish area over here, a plateau over here, an underground cave, and an ancient Wakiti ruins. This level exists so that demo players can experience the full armor set before buying the game, as well as use the new weapon they got from the last boss they fought. So the beach area is mostly just a starting area with a lot of enemies that you can use the new arm weapons on. The hillish area is specifically for fighting enemies, as the goal of the level is to collect the power pyramids. So fighting the enemies on the plains is how you get one of them. You can also find 2 of the power pyramids, one behind the waterfall and one above the other waterfall, although the top waterfall is blocked off unless you go through the Wakiti ruins. The plateau area has 2 itself, one on top of the platforming section and one hidden beneath the water just underneath it. The underground cave has a series of combination puzzles in which you have to glean the answer based off the hint provided. The one that's supposed to take the most amount of time is the Wakiti ruins, a gauntlet of platforming and puzzle challenges. Some puzzles are harder than others, some might be too hard.
Now, when I die, what will happen to my body? Wrong!
That's how it was according to Rocket Man X. When objects were destroyed, they just disappeared. I saw someone document an unused and replaced content from Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2, and in that, destroyed objects had some old particles that were replaced with newer, better ones. This made me think that I needed to add particles that fall whenever you destroy an object. Nobody complained about the old and nobody has brought up the new, but I just decided it needed to be done.
Now, in this time, I have finally sent off the game to my 2 playtesters, my brother and my Twitch streamer friend. They both had some notes, but none of them were really new features or anything like that. They were just mostly patch notes. So there'd be stuff like, oh, I always felt like I was dying, so I changed it so Rocket's armor was at 0.5, and then I changed it to 0.75, and stuff like that. And then there was also stuff like, oh yeah, there's this one section in Igloo Guana's level that I hated redoing after I died in the elevator section, so I moved the checkpoint back earlier in the game because I actually meant to do that originally because the checkpoint was now useless, but whatever. There was one feature that one new feature that came out of playtesting, and that was the, basically when my Twitch streamer friend was playing the demo armor room level, whatever, he collected the power pyramid that was called the most obvious secret, which was hidden underneath the waterfall. And then he didn't know that that wasn't under the current, which is a completely different power pyramid, and honestly, I do understand why he felt that way, so I decided I needed to add a screen that whenever you collect a power pyramid, it shows up and it tells you what power pyramid you got. And thanks to all this, I have been able to release the demo, so thank you for watching.